What is up, Steelers Nation? Thank you so much for jumping on to another episode of All Steelers Talk. I'm Noah Strackbine, joined always by my main man, Jacob Punturi. Find us on youtube.com/All Steelers Talk, or check us out anywhere you get your podcast. The Pittsburgh Steelers preparing for the Cincinnati Bengals, but there is a topic of conversation floating around the Pittsburgh Steelers world right now that may be getting serious, and that serious conversation is about their head coach, the future, and if change is finally coming and what can bring that change. Even some of Mike Tomlin's biggest fans and supporters are having this conversation, and it leads you to believe that maybe, just maybe, there's something real about it. We'll dive into that, plus some what's more likelies as we head into Cincinnati. It's a rainy one here in the Berg, but a good one yet the same. How you feel, my friend?
Feeling good, man. Feeling great. Got the Marvel Comics t-shirt on today. You know, it's a perfect sort of midweek sort of pick me up. Feeling good, man. Feeling like maybe things are going in a positive direction still midway through the week, which I think might be a record for me to have some positivity 2 days in a row. So we'll see how much it continues as we get further into today's episode.
I love a good positivity week for Jacob Punturi. That always makes me smile. Maybe the topic of conversation will not. The sun's coming out as I say that, which is always a good sign. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they are 5-4. There's a lot to dive into. Let's start with the news and notes of the day. Asante Samuel Jr. has got number 22. The big one, Will Howard returns to the active roster. Is that the saving grace here? Let's start off with that conversation. Could Will Howard, what's your outlook? Can Will Howard save any potential downfall / future / upset fans of the Pittsburgh Steelers in the next 2-3 seasons?
Oh, no, but I think he might be able to play some decent football for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Man, but I know you want to talk about Mike Tomlin. Let me just throw this out at you. How upset would you be? Because I want to hear how you feel about this. How upset would you be if the Steelers season went so badly over the next couple of weeks that it forced Will Howard into some sort of starting role? Are you there? Like, is that where you're at in terms of like, what are we doing here? Okay, fair enough. I'm not trying to presume anything yet. I don't have big plans for Will Howard this season, 2026 or 2027, but I do anticipate him being a healthy part of the competition moving forward, and I think that they could get some good action out of him. I'm not sure if he's going to be a starter or the number one ever, but I think he could be competitive, and at least you have a young player, another investment towards the future, which is something that they just have not really been doing a lot of in Pittsburgh. So I'm willing to at least give him some more opportunity if the season keeps kind of going the way it's been over the last few weeks.
I don't think the Steelers season gets that bad. I hope that at some point Will Howard gets some sort of opportunity. Unless you draft somebody, then that goes right out the door. Who cares? I look at it and say it would be nuts if Mike Tomlin's future with the Pittsburgh Steelers comes down to a 6th round quarterback next season to take the reins and say, last year was a bust. The conversation actually started about you leaving, and here we are, and things may be, well, it's coming down to this. You got the Ohio State 6th round pick to carry you and make this thing better. I think it would be hilarious if that happened.
National champion. Put some respect on that 6th round pick's name.
That's true. That's very true. It's very true. You got to put that out there. Shout out Will Howard. He's back at practice. Let's talk Mike Tomlin here. Okay. We got 2 topics of conversation. We meant to have this conversation yesterday, and Asante Samuel Jr. got signed, obviously threw us for a loop. Things changed immediately. The Pittsburgh Steelers are 5-4. Things are sinking fast. They're 1-3 in their last 4 games. And everybody, and I mean everybody, is starting to have the conversation that maybe Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers are coming to a place where it's at some point got to be over. And maybe that some point is coming quicker rather than later. We were asked the other day, who leaves first, Rooney or Tomlin? The belief is Tomlin. Got to think that it's Tomlin, unless they both leave at the same time. Then you got people like Mike Greenberg tossing out that the Pittsburgh Steelers could trade Mike Tomlin, or not trade Mike Tomlin, get rid of Mike Tomlin, and Mike Tomlin could go to a younger team in the New York Giants who have a quarterback, who have all these pieces, and he could go from there. You even have guys like Rich Eisen who are starting to say maybe it is time to have the conversation that Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers do not work out and will never work out the way that they want it to at this point in time. Rich Eisen has defended Mike Tomlin every single day for years. I watch Rich Eisen every single day, and that guy has never once said maybe it is time for Mike T and the Pittsburgh Steelers to part ways. Now he is starting to say it. I have had conversations around the NFL about the noise, and it has gone from early in the season and even last year and years prior of being the Steelers would never, Rooney and Tomlin are closer than ever, to it's starting to become understandable how upset fans are. And you're starting to hit a point where I think we're getting very close to the things like fire Tomlin chants at Acrisure Stadium if the ship continues to sink. Like, I think that's where it's at. And if it continues to fall, this might be the first time ever that we could have a real conversation about two things. One, that maybe the thought of Mike Tomlin going to a younger team to do this again makes sense, and makes sense in a way that maybe Mike Tomlin actually does have that thought and would consider that idea, because he's probably not done coaching. And at what point does he, not just the Pittsburgh Steelers, look at this and say, you know what, maybe I'm not getting the most out of this team, but maybe this team's not getting the most out of me at the same time. Maybe I am better than what the Pittsburgh Steelers are presenting me. Maybe that's the case as well. I think it goes both ways at this point. And I truly, truly, truly believe that this conversation is a real one right now, that if the ship does sink this season, that the Pittsburgh Steelers and Mike Tomlin may actually have to have that conversation after the season. I will say this. I was also talking to somebody that I trust their opinion, and this is not a source. It is an opinion-based conversation that I was having with somebody else who is very deep into the Pittsburgh Steelers. Not inside the building, just, has a lifelong knowledge of the Pittsburgh Steelers, professional knowledge of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And even they said, yeah, it does kind of feel like I almost had to talk them down, because they said it's almost certain that if this thing goes south, that it could be the end. And that's kind of what it felt like. Do you feel that the conversation might actually be hitting a real point, or do you feel that this is going to drag on until maybe the end of Tomlin's contract and maybe further, and no matter what happens, the two sides will always be a marriage?
It's an insanely difficult thing to place my finger on heading into week 11. My one question of clarification, his contract expires after the 27 season?
2027 season, correct.
Okay. So, that feels, the conversations that you and I have been having recently, and I think the general conversations that have been popping up around the Pittsburgh Steelers recently, is sometime between, 2025 and 2030, everyone's kind of betting on there being some sort of shakeup within the Pittsburgh Steelers organization. The contract ends around 2027. I wouldn't be surprised if the team wants to let him coach out the remainder of his contract, then they just kind of mutually part ways. Not sure what Tomlin wants to do afterwards. Not sure what the Steelers really have in mind, or what their vision is for this team once Mike Tomlin is inevitably not the coach in the future. But I think that the destination of these two sides splitting is becoming, within, you can kind of see it. It's not here. It's not like the Steelers are so bad, they're the worst team in the NFL, they got to fire him today, or else they are the Tennessee Titans of the league.
No.
Like, they are just not meeting the expectations set out by the organization, by ownership. I think because of that, and because that's been happening for several years now, you have to kind of see in front of you and be like, okay, I can see this relationship ending, but it doesn't feel like they have to fire him by the end of the 2025 season. Now, you lose the rest of this year, you go 4-5-12. I mean, what team doesn't consider firing their coach after going 5-12, right? Like, especially given the roster. So all that long-winded to say, I think it's in consideration. It's not hot on their mind. It's not the first thing the Rooneys want to do, but I
No.
think it's a conversation that's going to continue to get louder, especially as the season goes on and heading into 2026 and beyond.
Yes. I think there are certain parts of the conversation that are very important. For one, I think the Steelers fan base as a whole will realize just how bad it really can get and how going 9-8 is really difficult to do for 19 straight years. It is not something that's easy. Most teams don't do it. And when you go 4-11 for 5 or 6 years in a row, people are going to be sitting around going, I cannot believe that this is where we're at, that this is how bad things have gotten. I also think that you'd have to watch Tomlin probably succeed somewhere else if he left. You'd most likely watch him go to another team and have success and potentially turn into another Super Bowl head coach. I think that's a possibility. But I also think that sometimes things just do get stale. I don't think it's the message. I don't think it has anything to do with the message. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers need to chalk it up and actually admit that they need to stink for a couple of years and that they need to actually rebuild. And I think they've pushed this out long enough. And I have said this before that I'm open to Mike Tomlin being part of that rebuild, but that goes to the Mike Tomlin thing. I don't know if Mike Tomlin wants to be part of a rebuild. I don't know if Mike Tomlin would look at it and say, why would I do this when I could go get a job in 10 seconds? It would take me 5 minutes to go get a job at an organization that already has key pieces together. And I'm going to sit here with the Pittsburgh Steelers and suck for the next 5 years. Like that's what I'm going to do. No, I don't. I genuinely think that like his kids are gone. You know what I mean? The Pittsburgh Steelers are great. It's fun, but the city of Pittsburgh is not pulling everybody in going, oh man, dude, this is prime destination time. You know what I mean? The man doesn't spend his offseason in Pittsburgh unless he has to. Like nobody hangs out here all season long or all year long and cherishes the incline and South Side and Mount Washington and wherever. Like that's just not the case. I truly believe that the conversation goes both ways to where you could look at it. And that brings up the New York Giants part of this. Like, I don't know if the Giants would be that team, but Mike Greenberg believes that the Giants could be that team that intrigue Mike Tomlin. Like, do you genuinely think that, you know, if it did, not today, not week 11, we're talking end of the season, things are bad, the ship is sunk. I think there's equally as big of a likelihood that the Pittsburgh Steelers have a losing season than they do win a playoff game. And if it did, do you think that would be a real thought in Tomlin's head to say, maybe I do go somewhere else?
I mean, I guess, man, the guy is an NFL veteran. Like unless the fire of that competitive spirit has totally left him at this point, why wouldn't he want to go win somewhere else, go build a team up in his image and sort of see what he can do somewhere else? I mean, he's been successful here. He's been successful. Where else was he? William and Mary beforehand. Like we have
Super Bowl champion with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Exactly. Thank you, sir. So I mean, it's not like he is, just a guy who was given his first chance as an NCAA coach into the NFL, and now he's just looking for another opportunity. Every single NFL team outside of the Pittsburgh Steelers would be, calling him up and seeing if he's interested in joining their team should he leave the Steelers. Whether you are happy with what's going on or not in Pittsburgh, the respect surrounding Mike Tomlin remains and will continue to remain. So yeah, I mean, you just have to be okay with, if you want to rebuild, at least in my opinion, you have to be okay with just sort of letting go of some pieces that you really liked, you really cherished, were important to you at some point, but maybe aren't anymore. And I think Mike Tomlin, for the Hall of Fame record that he and resume that he has built as the Steelers head coach, it doesn't mean that he has to be a part of the entire future beyond what he's already done. So all that to say, Ike could move on, and I think he might be interested in doing so and trying to just build with another team. Why the Giants, though? I don't know. So
Jackson Dart, baby. Jackson Dart, baby.
Jackson, the lawn dart, is going to be, I just hope he stays healthy. We already saw what happens with the sort of reckless abandon that he plays. And I, really have a hard time seeing him reining it in long enough to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. But it was a fun few weeks, right?
It was a good time. I just think there will be other teams. You know what I mean? I don't think it'll be the Giants. I think the Giants are a little bit far-fetched, but I do think there will be other teams who are looking for head coaches in the next year that you're looking at going, that's not the worst thing in the world. That's not the worst pit stop I can make in my NFL journey to see if this thing works out. I mean, you will you got to think that maybe Arizona is a team to watch, and you got to think Arizona's not a bad football team outside of not having a quarterback, which is maybe Pittsburgh, but maybe not Pittsburgh. I think there will be openings that you look at and go, I'm not totally opposed to that. On the other side of it, maybe I'm totally off base here, but I actually do think that if the Steelers go 9-8 and get blown out in the playoffs, that like it actually might not be enough to make. I don't think it'll make a change. I don't think Tomlin leaves if they go 9-8 and lose in the first round of the playoffs. But I think if they do it next year, he leaves. I think if they do it this year and next year, it's over. Like I think he got some sort of warning last year. I think this year the warning would be real, and I think next year it would be time to move on. I truly do. I truly think that he's got 2 years left to win a playoff game.
Wow. You think they gave him the old 3 strikes you're out policy? Is that what you're saying? They're all right, you did a once.
8? We're on 8 strikes. 8 strikes. 8 strikes. And 8 strikes and you're out. It just kind of feels like do I think that Tomlin would be great? Yes, but I also think that massive change starts there. That the shift in momentum and the shift in where you're going as an organization starts with your head coach. And to me, it's like how many more times is this going to happen? You know, and don't get me wrong, I think that the Steelers have an opportunity to actually be okay this season. I think that's the other side of this is like. I think you get MVS up there, and I truly think that Aaron Rodgers just had like the worst game ever in Los Angeles for one reason or another. Something was real off about that guy. I do chalk it up to an off night, but I don't know, man, like a spiritual guide was wrong or something. I couldn't tell you what it was, but it was significant. But I look at it and say that I truly think that the Steelers might be okay. And if they're not, if this thing it does go south, maybe. Let me ask you a positive question, though. If the Steelers got to the playoffs, what's your confidence? How open-minded are you? I don't want to say what's your confidence level. How open-minded are you that Aaron Rodgers and could actually do something and this team could actually do something? Aaron Rodgers is different than a bad Steelers team. You know what I mean? Like, getting in the dance is hard. Winning in the dance is harder. You get a quarterback like Aaron, it changes things, you know? How open-minded are you about that?
Less than I want to be. You know, I think you can kind of tell I'm fighting the urge here to say I'm not open-minded to it at all. But I understand, and I think you have to respect the fact that one game, Aaron Rodgers, he's shown 8 out of 9 times he can do enough to win a game still in the current shape of the NFL. So one playoff game, one wild card game, yes, you have to believe that he can still give you just one final effort. No, it doesn't even have to be vintage classic Aaron Rodgers, the best flash of brilliance, blast from the past sort of thing. It just has to be game managing football from your starting quarterback. If he can do that, I think he can. I have to be somewhat open-minded, but I think it's, you know, today heading into week 11, I'm like, ooh, it's okay to not be right now. It's okay to be like, maybe it's just gone.
Maybe. I think right now heading into week 11, certainly. But I think if you got there, it's a different, I don't know. I look at it like Aaron is Aaron. You know, Aaron's a Hall of Famer. He's one of the top 10, 15 quarterbacks of all time to ever play in the NFL. You give him an opportunity, maybe. But I think, again, like I said, I think there's a 50% chance that the Steelers have a losing record, 50% chance that they make the playoffs. Like, that's where I'm at right now. And I just don't, like, I'm not,
they won't.
Yeah, like I'm not sitting here anymore saying like the Steelers are gonna pull this thing off, and you know, it's it's overreaction time. Like it's time to admit that the Steelers are 1-4 in their last 4 games, or 1-3 in their last 4 games. They've been through this before. We've had these conversations. We finished last season going, that's a loss. Maybe it's going to get better. That's a loss. Maybe it's going to get better. That's a loss. Maybe it's going to get better. And then it happened 2 more times and you went, wow, dude, this is awful. This is so bad.
It's so bad.
I think it's a 50% chance it happens, a 50% chance it doesn't. If they get here, I am very open-minded to what they can do. Very. Like they would surprise me literally 0% if the Steelers won a Super Bowl if they got into the playoffs, because I truly think that's what a quarterback does. Is once you're in there, defense wins championships. Great. Unless you're Patrick Mahomes. You know what I mean? Like, then it's different. Unless you're Matthew Stafford. Nobody's talking about the defenses right now. Everybody's talking. You want to know who the favorites are? The Kansas City Chiefs, the LA Rams. You know, do you want to know who isn't? The Seattle Seahawks, because nobody trusts Sam Darnold. The Philadelphia Eagles, because nobody trusts Jalen Hurts. Like, I still think that what you could do with a quarterback is huge. And again, I would I bet on it? No. If I had to guess their record right now, it's not going to be great. And I know Maddie's got a question out there about it, so I'll save it for that. But I don't foresee the Pittsburgh Steelers finishing with a good record this season. I think it's going to be bad. That being said, if it happened, I have a lot more faith in Aaron Rodgers than I've had in any quarterback that's been in Pittsburgh in a minute. And that includes the last 2 years of Ben Roethlisberger. Like, in my head, Aaron has shown that he could do some things, and Ben could do some things, but Ben was working with like half a leg by the time it was over, you know,
half a leg, half a center, according to him too. Then he apologized for it.
Yeah. Then he was like, "Nah, my bad." Then it was it.
It wasn't his fault. He can't read. It's like, okay, whoa.
Breathe it out here, Ben. Breathe it out. All right, that's everything on the Tomlin side of things. Let's do some what's more likely. It's Wednesday. Hopefully cheer us up a little bit for a gloomy day. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be honest with you. I was ready to have a Mike Tomlin conversation and go in a different direction. And then I talked to somebody today and my direction changed completely. I was like, by the end of the conversation, I was like, wow, dude, it really actually might. This is a real thing, huh? We're really having this conversation that this actually might be real. You know, and I trust the person that I spoke to enough to be like, you're influencing me. Stop it. Get out of here, dude. You're ruining everything. So shout out to them. They know exactly who they are if they're listening. My guy. All right, let's do some what's more likelies. I know you got them today. I'm sending it to you. What do we got?
All righty. Let's I got a few for you here. Let's see if we can hit you with a positive one here. I'm genuinely still shocked at your entire take, I think, from today in general. So, you know, I'm reeling.
Do you 100% disagree with everything I'm saying? Or are you just shocked because you thought you didn't expect it to come out of my mouth?
I'm shocked that Noah Strackbine is admitting to the possibility that like the rope might be running out, you know, as far as the Mike Tomlin and Steelers relationship here. So it's crazy. I feel like that's where you and I have deviated a lot in a lot of our conversations about the Steelers. So
true.
I don't know, but yeah, it's very interesting times the Pittsburgh Steelers find themselves in, dude.
They got me rattled. We need the Cincinnati game.
I'm frazzled, and you know, I hate to use that word. So let me throw you a what's more likely. Let's see what that does for you, buddy.
All right, let's do it.
Joe Flacco, the old arch nemesis of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm going to start off with him. No build up. Do you think it's more likely that Joe Flacco sort of runs the table once again against his old foe, the Pittsburgh Steelers? And by that, I mean he exceeds the 342 passing yards he threw for in their previous matchup. Or is it more likely that the Pittsburgh Steelers will record more than one interception against Joe Flacco in this Week 11 contest? What's more likely?
One interception or runs the table?
More than one interception.
Dude, it's why would you start this off this way? I think it's more likely that he runs the table, dude. I think it's more likely that Joe Flacco comes out here and puts up 35 points again. What's stopping him? The Steelers defense? No. Asante Samuel Jr. isn't going to play this week, so nothing's changing. The only thing that is changing is James Pierre is going to start on the outside. Like, no. No. Oh gosh, dude. Gosh.
Oh,
Now,
wow.
now, let me toss
Wow.
this out there. I
Please.
feel a
Yeah.
lot more confidence in the Pittsburgh Steelers being at home against Cincinnati. I think that plays a toll. But I also
Mhm.
think before the Indianapolis game got going and the Steelers took advantage, I felt the energy in that stadium, and it was not positive. It was not a we are here to rowdy the troops. It was we are here because we are pissed type of environment. And
Oh, man.
I don't think that hurts. Dude, it sucks. And now I'll give you guys a little fast forward to Sunday. I am going to pick the Steelers to win. I do feel the Steelers are going to win. But you're asking me what's more likely? Joe Flacco gets 2 interceptions. How many times this season have the Steelers had 2 interceptions?
I
Twice?
haven't. They. I don't.
I think it's
Not only when
twice.
they've had those big old 6-7 turnover
Yeah,
games.
it's like 3 times this season. It
Mhm.
doesn't. What's more likely is it's so unfortunate, but what's more likely is Flacco running the table. Give me something good, dude. Let me say, I need to say something
Whoa.
positive before I explode here.
Okay.
I'm getting close.
This one I think will actually do that. So someone has to move the ball if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers. Someone has to try to get in the end zone. Do
You
you
hope.
think it's more likely that they finally allow Jalen Warren to sort of be a prominent piece of this offense? Do you think he exceeds 15 carries, more than 15 carries in this game? Or do you think star wide receiver DK Metcalf becomes a part of this game a little bit and he exceeds 75 yards? What's more likely, Jalen Warren or DK Metcalf having Jalen Warren having 15 carries or more, or DK Metcalf having 75 or more receiving yards in this game?
I'm going to say what's more likely is DK Metcalf. And I'm going to say that because
Mm,
there's nobody
mm.
that can cover him. This was a shootout last time. You could double team him all day, but if you're double teaming him, me and you, it's not going to work. That's a different situation. Jalen doesn't get 15 carries. It's not like last week was like an anomaly where you're going, oh my, I can't believe that they didn't run the ball more. That's every week. We're just not talking about it. It wasn't so evident that the quarterback stunk that you had to bring up the running back. It was just this, like, it's been every week that Jalen's getting 13, 14 carries, 15 carries, maybe. Him getting 20 carries is not an every week thing. DK could get 2 receptions for 75. If Aaron hits DK, that's 45 yards right there. If
Mhm.
Aaron hits DK on that touchdown. I'm going DK. I know the easy answer is Jalen. I'm going DK because I think DK has one of 2 things is going to happen this weekend. Okay. A, the Steelers are going to bounce back and the offense is going to look ridiculous and Aaron's going to look ridiculous. Or
Mhm.
B, it's the beginning of the end for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And there's no middle ground. So I'm going to put my eggs in the Aaron Rodgers is going to bounce back basket and
Okay.
feel good about it. And that's where I'm going to sit. That's where I'm going to sit.
Okay. Wow. I mean, we feel like we are on the edge.
Dude,
Don't
the
push
edge.
me because I'm close to the edge.
You
And
lose to the Cincinnati Bengals and don't look good, you're falling. You know what I mean? I was telling you the other day, I've been playing Skate, the video game, and
yeah,
when
you
you
did
jump off
say
a
that.
building, you're just free falling. You know what I mean? That's a loss to the Bengals right there. That's a loss to the Bengals.
Just be singing the old free falling. Okay, let's see. Maybe part of the offense getting going is bringing up someone we've talked about before in MVS and
Yep.
Marquez Valdez-Scantling. So I have one about him, and let's just assume he plays. Not that we know for sure one way or the other yet, but let's just assume that he's going to play. Do you think it is more likely that they get him involved and they find the passing game a little bit? Do you think that he could get a 50-yard game in his debut? Or do you think it's more likely that the Cincinnati Bengals have 3 wide receivers who exceed 50 yards once again? And so that's going to be Jamar Chase. It's going to be, don't look at me like that. I
You're
think
killing me, brother. You're
I
killing me.
Noah, this is a radical change in you, and I think everyone in the picnic pack is worried. Are you good? They
It's
expect
been
this
a
from me.
I know,
From you?
but this is tough. This is because we just like look at it realistically.
I
Realistically,
know. I know.
the 50-yard receivers are that's the easiest thing you could do in Pittsburgh right now is a 50-yard receiver. And you're telling me that there's a chance Darius Slay doesn't play, which means James Pierre's on the outside? Come on. I like Pierre Island. I do. Big fan of Pierre Island. He ain't going to get it done. Plus, Alex Highsmith's dealing with a pec injury now. Who knows what's happening? 3 receivers.
Maybe no Broderick.
Which only means the defense is going to be out there more. Because I'm sorry, the only thing I'm not even going to say it. No jabs are allowed. Okay, let's break it down. Let's just break it down real fast. Jamar Chase, 50 yards. Yes, the answer is yes. T. Higgins, 50 yards. Yes, it's a yes. All you got to do is that third dude with the name that I'm not going to pronounce.
Yossi Vash.
That's
Andre
the guy.
Yossi Vash.
And last time, I think he had like 85 yards against the Steelers.
Yeah, everyone did.
It's MVS with 50 yards. If you said 25, MVS. But it's the Steelers giving up three 50-yard receivers. This sucks, dude. This sucks. I'm going to get and tell everybody right now. I'm going to take a nap after this. I'm going to eat a snack. You know what I mean? I'm going to rest. And I'm going to come back tomorrow. I'm going to be happy. Okay? I'm going to be a positive human being.
Crabby today, dude? Is that what it is?
I'm honestly not.
That's good.
Shout out to Steelers practice because you ruined my whole day. And I'm just not ready for it. Not ready for it. I promise tomorrow. Everybody tune back in tomorrow. It's going to be great. I'm going to be super happy.
Do you think it is more likely that the Cincinnati Bengals exceed 400 receiving yards total, passing yards, receiving yards, or do you think it's more likely that the Steelers exceed 70 rushing yards? I need one that has to be somewhat tough, but I need you to pick the Steelers in one of these, dude.
That one's the Steelers
one.
That's the Steelers. That's the Steelers. 70 rushing yards will happen. That's the one. We needed that. We needed that real desperately today, actually. Desperately. You could tell. Again, you could tell I always judge everything off of interactions, that kind of stuff. The chat right now, love you guys, love every single one of you guys, is literally either just telling me I'm an idiot or agreeing with me aggressively. There aren't even questions, which means that this is tough. That this is not the positivity, the laughter that we need today. Let's bring a little positivity to let's go ahead. Give me one more. Let's close it off with a little positive.
I got one more for you.
Yeah, let's do it.
You kind of snubbed Pierre Island, but do you think it's more likely that James Pierre, who's probably going to start, records an interception, or do you think TJ Watt has more than 1.5 sacks in this contest? And I just want to add, the last time he had 2 sacks in a game, the last time he exceeded 1.5 was week 3 against the New England Patriots. I think it's more likely he gets to the number 2, can't be 1.5, has to be 2.0. Or Pierre Island comes to play.
I'm going to say Pierre Island comes to play. I'm going to say James Pierre comes to play. James Pierre is a sneaky. That's a good answer for me. That's not a bad answer.
It's a great answer from you. I don't think it's crazy at all.
It's a lot easier to double team TJ and chip TJ till he can't get to the quarterback, especially if Alex Highsmith isn't playing. Pierre Island is he's a sneaky guy. You know what I mean? Look at Pierre Island's career. He's got like 5 starts. In those 5 starts, he's probably got like 4 interceptions. Like the guy just comes up with the picks. You know what I mean? When Pierre Island's out there, he's going to give up 85 yards, but he's going to come up with an interception. You know what I mean? And the interception is going to be great. Yeah. So he's got one against Indianapolis. He's got one maybe against Cincinnati. Pierre Island, man, all day. I'll put Pierre on, and I'll feel good about that one. That's a vote of confidence to James Pierre. That's the guy right there.
Do you find that to be a dig on TJ Watt at all?
No, I think TJ Watt's the most chip man in football. Like, it's so hard to bet on TJ Watt right now. It's so hard to bet on TJ Watt right now.
More chips than a bag of Lays.
Than a bag of Lays, dude. And that's not even a lot of chips, because a bag of Lays, a quarter bag of chips. It's like
air in there.
There's all air in there. You know what I mean? This is Pringles. He's Pringle chipped, and it's not great. It's not great, but I don't think that's the downfall of TJ Watt. I just think that's where he's at in his career. So to bet on him, James Pierre comes up with, I don't know what the number is, but James Pierre comes up with interceptions, man. James Pierre Island.
He has 3 in his career, but he does have 17 passes defended.
17 passes defended. The guy's he's got 8 career starts and 3 interceptions. There's a pretty good chance James Pierre comes out here and does some stuff. He does. It's a James Pierre type game. You know what I'm saying? Nobody else is coming up with an interception. James Pierre. I'm catching up. I know the camera's freaking out, but we're catching up. We're catching up. We're back. All right. That felt good. Way to go on. Way to get me riled up there. That was a good one. That was a way to end it. That was a way to end it for sure. All right. With that said, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in 30 seconds, and then we'll start answering your guys' questions.
Pittsburgh,
right
this one's for you. From the voices behind All Steelers Talk comes Black and Gold Apparel, your go-to for bold, fan-driven merch that reps the city, the Steelers, and everything in between. Whether you bleed black and gold or just love that Pittsburgh grit, we've got something for you. It's more than a podcast. It's a community. And thanks to your support, we're proud to bring the passion from our mics to your closets. Gear up, stand out, and show the world what real fans look like. Shop now at blackandgoldapparel.myshopify.com.
All righty. Shout out to our fans, our fans. Shout out to our members. Shout out to our super chatters. Can't thank you guys enough. With that said, start tossing your questions in the chat. We'll get to as many of them as we can. We're going to start with good old Highsmith Glass Factory, which ironically fits today. Tomlin must be on the Dwight Schrute plan. 3. What is that? What is that word? Oh, demerits. Guys, I'm literally losing it today. I think I am. I think I need a nap. I think I need a little nap. I think I need a little nap and a snack. A little nap and a snack. You know what I'm saying? A little nap and a snack. 3 demerits equals a citation. 5 citations equal a violation. 4 violations, a verbal warning. 6 of those hot seat. Unless you're Juan Thornhill, that literally probably had to hand his jersey to Asante Samuel as he walked out the door of the Pittsburgh Steelers yesterday, which is just brutal. Fantastic though. Anytime you could get a little Dwight Schrute action going on there, you get a little Dwight Schrute action going on there. That's how you do those things. It's true. It's true. I do think there has to be some sort of hot seat before there's any sort of mutually parting ways. Otherwise, you are an aggressive. You're a college program who fires their coach after one bad season. You know what I mean? That's what it. That's what it is. If that's what happens, that's what it is.
I get it. Give him some Schrute bucks. Get him out of there. Show him the door.
Show him the door. Andy Joe. 2026 O-line free agents the Steelers could be interested in. Spencer Buford, from the 49ers, and Elijah Vera Tucker from the Jets. My only issue with Elijah Vera Tucker, phenomenal name. The guy's been injured every single season since he's been in the NFL. Like, it's really difficult to bet on a guy staying healthy and paying him like a tackle and trusting he's going to be your tackle if that's the case. Spencer Buford is not bad. Sits behind Trent Williams. So if they're willing to part ways with Trent Williams, will play till he's $7 billion. So, you know,
he's older than the earth.
He almost is older than the earth. Like, he's got to be 40 years old playing left tackle. Pretty damn near close to 40 years old playing left tackle. That's a man right there.
Oh, dash a man. He's practically a rock. Didn't know Elijah Vera Tucker, isn't he recovering from like a serious knee injury too that has him out for the year? Am I thinking of the right?
It was a bicep that he tore right before the season. Ooh, but I think a knee was last year. He's missed. I think he's been in the league 4 years. I think he's missed 3 of them.
That's tough.
That's tough.
They need a sure thing at left tackle. You know, I don't know how you get it. I don't have the answer magically up my sleeve. I wish I did, but they need an anchor. It can't be hoping and wishing that Broderick Jones finally becomes a player he's supposed to. It needs to be a real answer. And yeah, look how Noah, the last believer in Broderick Jones, is now disappeared.
Yeah, dude. My ship is. I'm pulling the anchor up, dude. We're already starting to move. I was the last believer in Broderick Jones. I tried so hard to be a Broderick Jones guy because I was when it was happening. I was like, "There it is, dude. I am going to tell everybody. Told you so, brother. Ha ha ha. Gotcha." And it's just he's killing me, dude. He's crushing me. ND Joe once again. 2026 offensive line draft picks. Spencer Fano, a left tackle out of UT, 90 rating. Where are we getting these ratings from? That's impressive.
Some fifth ones.
60, 6'6", 302, 494. My guy's got all the stats. Francis, Mayugoa? I bet I got that right. Out of Miami, 6'6", 315, 5'3", 40. And Caden Proctor. Caden Proctor is my pick. I mean, that dude's a stud. That dude's an absolute stud. Spencer Fano is also a good one. I believe he's from Notre Dame originally, and has made a name for himself at UT. But Caden Proctor has been, I mean, he's given Ty Simpson all day long. I'm a big fan of Caden Proctor. What's the highest you would draft a left tackle in this draft? Where we sit today. The draft happened today.
Not that I am really enthused or thrilled with the Steelers' ability to pick an offensive lineman right now in the first round. No disrespect to Troy Fautanu, big fan right now. But if you got to go up and get him, I think you can go in the top 15 and get one. I don't think that's crazy. I know it's not the ideal pick in the first round, maybe, but again, you need someone who is just a sort of anchor at the position and someone who can be around for the long term, who is more than a one contract player. Do what you got to do to get him. If it's, getting Caden Proctor, and if we do get Caden Proctor, I have a nickname for him.
What's the nickname?
I'm sure I'm not the first one to think of this, and I know nothing about Alabama football, but I would just call him the proctologist.
That's a beautiful time. That's a beautiful name right there. That's a beautiful name. We can't tell. Nobody's allowed to tell him that because we will make T-shirts and give him one as a surprise when he's drafted. That's what we'll do.
For sure.
That's what we'll do.
Sure.
I don't disagree with you with having a little bit of like being a little scarred. Don't want to rush it. I think I agree with that. Like it's so important. I'm very. If the draft happened today, wide receiver and corner sits so high on my list that it's crazy. Like it's like they are just so, it's so evident how bad those two positions are that I am just like, go get them. They're so bad. Like, just go get them. Just go fill them and let's just move on from this. Maybe the best name of all time here. Poke my spinal confusion salad. You didn't listen to my to-go today. I was talking about
what you called it.
That's what I called it. I didn't. I said spinal confusion or whatever it is. Shout out. Shout out. I'm not good with names, guys. I'm not good with names. I knew it as it came out of my mouth, but I was way too deep into this to go.
Whose line is this?
Yeah. I couldn't do it. I couldn't go back. I couldn't restart it. Whose line is this? I couldn't be like, okay, we're like 6 minutes in. Let's just redo this one. No, we were rocking with spinal confusion, a little spinal confusion surgery. I heard it's painful. You know what I mean? Shout out to the Pittsburgh doctors just doing all their things. Negative Noah and positive Penturi. That's different. I think I'll rate this a 4. I'm telling you guys, I'm going to be good tomorrow. We're coming back strong. We're ready to go. Everything's good. What's more likely? Roman has 2 catches in the first half or MVS has 5 total? MVS has 5 total, dude. I'm telling you, MVS is going to be wide receiver 2 in the next 2 weeks.
Agreed with that 100%. And this is not me taking another dig at Roman Wilson, because like, who does that? Who does these things? Not me. And I would never do this. But he does seem to only catch the ball after the second half if they're trailing by 2 touchdowns or more.
Yes.
So there is a half. Yes, after in the third.
In the third half.
The third half.
For sure.
Yes. Yes, because football games have 4 to 8 halves nowadays. Is that what it is?
Yeah. 4 to 8 halves. Somewhere in that ballpark. Roman usually shows up about 2 minutes left into the third half. Somewhere in that ballpark.
Somewhere.
I agree.
Oh man.
I agree.
So yeah, MVS for sure.
Yeah, definitely MVS. It's 2 weeks. 2 weeks he's wide receiver 2. Macaroni salad. Ask Maddie about Will Howard. Will Howard's back. He's back and better than ever. Saw him getting a Gatorade today. Said, yo, congrats on being back in the active roster. He said, we're back. And then he walked away. And I said, all right, thanks. Shout out Will Howard. Yeah, shout out Will Howard, man. Quarterback 3. We're back. We'll see what happens. Ryan, sup, boys? I'm predicting we win this week just because it's a 1 p.m. Mike don't got to worry about the whole country watching this week. I think it's a sleep thing. What's going on my screen right now? All right, we're back. I think it's a screen thing. Or a sleep thing. I think it's the Steelers they need their rest. They're an old football team. They're made up of 1 billion veterans. And I'm a vet, man. I'm a vet. I'm an old man. Not at all, but I feel like an old man and I need my sleep. I don't get much of it, but I need it. And those night games, dude, those 8:15 kickoffs, I'm thinking about bed by the end of the first quarter. I'm sitting there thinking, I can only imagine what Aaron Rodgers is thinking. I think that's what it is. I think that.
You want to hear my conspiracy about all this?
Yes.
I would be curious to see how many of the players on the Pittsburgh Steelers have kids versus the rest of the league. Parents don't ever sleep, man. You know what I mean? Like you're telling me, and I know I know a lot of these. I saw a lot of the players having their families around at training camp and stuff. So I know a good portion of them have families and small kids. They probably don't got any rest. You get home at 1 a.m., 2 a.m. after a night game like that. Like when you getting up at 4 a.m, and you're like, oh, guess I better just prepare for week 11. Like
pissed, dude. You're pissed. Done. That's what it is. So it's 100% what happened.
We're on to it.
100% what happened. Carl, me cup of Joe Green bean salad, Spackler. I'm really curious when we do change, new coach before Rooney goes, new coach after, we never seem to want to fully rebuild, just hang on to what we know too long. I truly think that there's a possibility that Rooney and Tomlin go at the same time. That's just like a clean shift of just like, this is it. New Pittsburgh Steelers. Rooney's going to obviously just hand it down to his son, but I think that's getting close. And, I wouldn't be surprised if he's looking to just rebuild and let's start this thing from scratch and do it again. I would not. Look at the last time the Steelers were in a slump like this. Cowher had his losing seasons and then got to the AFC Championship a couple of times and just couldn't beat it. And then it was starting to stink again. And then they decided, all right, let's just, let's figure it out. They had one bad season and then they got Ben. And then it was like, okay, here it is. We're ready. And I wonder if that's what it takes, is just like a bad year, and maybe Dan Rooney believes that that's what's next, and that's the way to go about it. But I think there's a possibility Rooney and Tomlin leave at the same time.
I don't think that's like the most far-fetched thing either one of us has said today. So yeah, no, not crazy. I saw a comment about how the Chargers game was really just like a mid-afternoon game for them.
Look at guys, we're not serious about the sleep. Or not. Anybody who's sitting out there like, are you kidding me? These guys are talking about the sleep schedule. That's not what the Steelers think. We're just trying to cheer everybody up, okay? We're just trying to cheer.
That's spinal confusion again.
It's the spinal confusion, dude. It's got me going. Renegade Minka, Noah, unless I am mistaken, don't some players sign with the team based on Tomlin being the head coach and always wanted to play for him? Why would the Steelers lose that aspect? Okay, so hear me out. I hear what you're saying. I get this. At what point does that not matter anymore because the Steelers just are not Super Bowl contenders? Like, it's awesome that you're signing Jalen Ramsey unless you go 9-8 and lose in the first round of the playoffs, Like, at what point does that go away?
I mean, when does the luster, when does it lose its luster? I think that is going to persist long after he is still an effective coach with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like, people will still love. It's the same reason that the rest of the league would love to have Mike Tomlin. Like, there's a respect factor here. That's
Yeah.
not going to go away just because the team is, if they finish this season with any record, it doesn't really matter. Players will still say, "Oh, I still want to play for Mike T. Are you kidding me?" Like, yeah, it was a bad year, but like they had no O-line. Aaron Rodgers was 41. Like, you can find every reason to excuse what happened and still have the respect for Mike T. And I think that's the same way a lot of organizations will look at him if he's no longer the coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So all that to say, the appeal is not going to go away anytime soon, in my opinion. Veterans like Jalen Ramsey, veterans who have been around the league and want to play for a player's coach, will want to come to Pittsburgh. Does that mean that's the best way forward? I think we're discovering, and the Steelers organization has probably already discovered this as well, hopefully, that it's not really the best way forward all the time.
Yes, I think there are a lot of teams out there that are a little bit more successful than the Steelers right now who don't have a coach that people, you know what I mean? Nobody's like, oh man, dude, I cannot wait to play for Sean McDermott, dude. Cannot wait to play for Sean McDermott. Oh my gosh, the dude in Seattle, bro. Let me go. I just think that I think we're hitting a point where it's like not always as effective as it's been, or it is as effective, but the results are just not there anymore. Lane, Noah, what's more likely? Warren gets 20 plus touches or Chase gets 20 plus more targets? This one's Jalen Warren. If Jamar Chase has 20 plus targets, fire everybody. They fire the whole defense. I want the whole thing gone. Send them in a bus back to Cincinnati. Tell them, hey, you guys need a defense. There you go. Have it. Let's move on. That would just be crazy. That'd be so crazy.
How many targets did he have in their Thursday Night Football matchup? Sorry, my brain stalled out there.
I think it was like 15.
That's what I mean. So it's not like
yeah, but it was like a record number. Like I think is I'm gonna lag if I check this out. Can you Google this and see how many? I think it was a record. I think he set a record in either receptions or targets, something like that. Like I think it was something ridiculous.
23 times against the Steelers on Thursday Night Football. What is the record for most targets?
I'm actually very curious about this. It's got to be
Google, do your thing. 28 times is, according to StatMuse, Brandon Marshall was targeted 28 times in a game versus the Colts while playing for the Denver Broncos in December of 2009.
Yeah, so I just it's not realistically. I'm going Jalen Warren.
I'm going Jamar Chase because he's targeted 23 times last time.
This
5
guy.
off the record. That if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Oh man. You telling me Zach Taylor's walking into these meetings this week like we can't do offense this week. We got James Pierre over there.
Like, they're just true. Hey guys, see this play? It's called let's open it up here. This is the slant play. Get that out of there. We're not doing that this week. No chance in hell. No chance in hell. And Jamar's like, are you kidding me, bro? What's going on here? What's going on? Yeah. All right, we'll see what happens. Maddie, okay, guys, what's your midseason record prediction? Like, who do we win against and lose coming up? All right, let's go through them. Can you pull up the sketch? The sketch here?
Heavily.
It's not. I'm nervous. I'm nervous about it.
Bengals this week, obviously. All right, I have it in front of me. Bengals, and then they go to Chicago.
Okay, so Cincy, I'm saying a win. We'll go score prediction on Friday, but Cincy, I'm saying a win.
Okay.
What do you got?
Oh, I have to guess. I have to give my prediction too.
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna win.
Okay.
I think they're gonna be 5-5 after this game.
Okay. I got them at 6-4.
Excellent. And then they go to Chicago.
I think they lose to Chicago. I think Chicago's good right now. Yeah, I think Chicago's good right now. 6-5. You got them at 5-6.
5-6.
Okay.
And then they come back to Pittsburgh and they play the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, they get smoked by the Bills.
5-7. No doubt.
Yep, 6-6 on my part. 6-6 on my part.
and then they go to Baltimore. I think they win that game.
I think they beat Baltimore. Yep, 7-6.
I'd have them as okay, makes sense. 6-7. Then they play the
You're-
Miami Dolphins.
They smoked the Dolphins. It's December. It's Monday night, which means it's going to be cold, and it's in Pittsburgh.
It's in Pittsburgh. You're right.
Yeah. 8-6. 8-6. I got them. You got them 7-7.
I'd have them at winning that. Yeah, for sure. Then they go to Detroit. 7-8.
8-8. I got them at 8-8 here.
Go to Cleveland.
Wait. How do I have them at 8? How do I have them at 8-8? I got them at 8. We're off somewhere. They're 5-4. They beat Cincy. That's 6. They lose to Chicago. They lose to Buffalo. They beat Baltimore. They beat Miami. So I'm at
8-6.
8-6. Okay.
After they beat Miami.
Yeah. 8-6.
And then so you'd have them 8-7 after they beat the Lions.
8-7 after they beat the Lions.
After they lose to the Lions.
Yes. After they lose to the Lions. 8-7.
Man. Beating the Browns.
Smoking the Browns. The Browns.
9-7, and then do you have them getting to 10-7, beating the Ravens in Week 18?
Nope.
9-8.
Ravens win the AFC North in Week 18 against the Steelers in prime time at Pittsburgh, and that's the 9-8 year. Do they make the playoffs at 9-8? With your record, they don't make the playoffs.
I have them at. I don't know if I want to have them at 8-9 or 9-8 yet. That feels like a terrible direction this has turned.
We have them
today.
It was not long ago, guys, where we were sitting here with Noah had them at 13-3. So it was a wild time. It was a wild time. Do they make the playoffs at 9-8?
No. I think there's going to be a lot of 9-8 teams when it's all settled.
I think so too. I think there will be a significant amount of 9-8 teams when this is all over. All right, let's keep it trucking here. Forever, what's more likely? Asante Samuel makes 5 starts this season, or the Bengals make the wild card? Oh, Asante's starting 5 games, easy. Asante said today that he's in football shape. He's ready to go, healthier than he's ever been. Great. You got a week, then you're on the field. I think next week through the end of the season, Asante Samuel Jr. is the starting corner for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
So that would be what, 7 games? You think he's going to start?
7 games.
I think 5-7 is a totally fair expectation. I don't think it's crazy to have the Bengals as the wild card team, as a wild card team.
What? Really?
Yeah, dude. Look,
they're like 3-6.
If they beat Pittsburgh,
they're 4-6.
They're 4-6, and that would also put them in their division at 3-0.
It doesn't matter. What's their actual record?
They'd be 4-6 if they beat the Steelers, but
they can't be 4-6. The Steelers are 5-4. That doesn't add up.
If they beat the Steelers on Sunday, they'd be 4-6.
They're 3-6 right now.
Yes.
All right. That's an interesting take. I'll call you. I've had a lot of wild takes today. The Bengals making the playoffs. Wild. You need to go to a Bengals podcast and be like, hey guys, I know that you guys have been, it's been a stressful year for you guys. I got a take that's going to brighten everybody's day. Like, I'm going to make everybody smile.
Joe Burrow's going to play by Thanksgiving.
Yeah, dude, he's going to be hurt by Christmas. Like, what are we doing here?
Fair enough. The Steelers are playing like dog dookie, man.
I'm not. The question is not: are the Steelers make the playoffs over the Bengals? It is not. It is: do the Kansas City Chiefs and the Bills make it over the Bengals? Yes, like probably.
Yes, correct. Yeah. No, all right. Okay. All right. You talked me into it.
I'm
sorry, everybody.
Don't lose that fire. We're gonna clip this. I'm gonna send it to my boy James Rappian over at All Bengals Talk, and we're gonna, I'm gonna Make sure that they get a smile today, no doubt about it. Jordan, firing Tomlin is stupid considering how a rookie Ben had so much success because of a good team that was only missing a quarterback. Y'all just want something different that doesn't make it a good option. I truthfully don't really want something different. Like, I don't want if I was simply looking at this as a fan of the Pittsburgh Steelers, which I feel like I feel like my fandom of any team has evaporated, and at this point I'm way too connected to things, and it's very difficult. Do I want the Steelers to win a Super Bowl? Yeah, there's a part of me that would love to experience that and that journey. A massive part of me. Do I really like the players? Love some of the guys in that locker room. And Mike T's treated me well over the years as well. I don't think there's a part of me like I'm not sitting here saying, man, dude, change is best and Mike Tomlin. No, if Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers are very open to sitting down and saying, we just need to rebuild this team and we're going to take the time to rebuild it correctly instead of trying to patchwork everything, in my eyes, that's the best answer for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I just don't think those two sides go together. I don't think that you could do both of those things. And I think that's where the crossroads hit for me.
Sure. Yeah, I think that's very well said. I mean, listen, I mean, how short-term memory, we all have a short-term memory when it comes to this stuff, but I mean, you can go through, I don't know how long I've been doing this podcast with you. I'd say 80% of the time I'm talking about how much I love Mike Tomlin. Like, I've been a huge supporter and fan of Mike Tomlin for a long time before I was even doing this podcast, before I was covering the team, like anything like that. So I don't sit here with any malice or like ill will towards any of these players, coaches, Steelers organization. I want it to go well. I just do nothing but watch this team, talk about the NFL, cover the NFL, and cover the NFL. So like, just got, like, it's hard for me to like fake optimism if I don't actually feel that way, or don't feel like, you know, if 1 + 1 = 2, but I keep seeing 3, like I can't just like be like, yeah, no, it's adding up. You're right. Now I see it. Like, you know, Tomlin isn't, you're not going to just go and grab some coach from anywhere else, from the NCAA ranks, a coordinator ready to jump ship and take that next step and magically be a Super Bowl team and the organization's fixed with your Super Bowl winning quarterback. Like, no, it doesn't automatically mean that either, but that doesn't mean, to kind of use the logic here that was just presented with this comment, that doesn't mean that what they have is good. Just because you don't know what else is outside or beyond doesn't mean that what you have is acceptable.
Very much so agree. I very much so agree. You got to go through, there's a lot of mystery out there. You know what I mean? And I think at some point we'll be doing this podcast, like talking about the mystery that's coming. And that's crazy. And hindsight's always 2020. Hindsight's always 2020. Nate needs more salad. Has JPJ hit his ceiling? No, I do not think so. I don't think anybody's taught Joey Porter Jr. how to not tackle wide receivers. And when that happens, I think that's when he gets close to his ceiling. But I think Joey Porter Jr. is good with an issue. And I don't know if that issue could be solved, but I'm willing to guess that, you know, you get the right teacher, maybe it could. Again, maybe not, but I'm not. I'm going to say no to this.
I think he might have, and I don't necessarily know if it's the worst thing ever. Like, and I think he might have hit his ceiling because he has had, you're right, he is good with an issue. That one issue has persisted and has gone, you know, not corrected, or maybe they have and it's been unsuccessful. Either way, you know, he is sort of who he is at this point with his experience in the league. And I think he's just a number 2 cornerback. I think the Steelers have learned that, maybe even a number 3. I don't think he's terrible. I just don't think he is the number 1 guy that you build your secondary around. And I think that's fine. Does he have more to give? If he cleaned up the penalty issues, sure, of course there's more to give. There's a higher ceiling to reach, but I don't know if I think he can fix that.
I can't sit here and say that he's going to. I hope that he does. I think he's a corner 2, but I still think corner 2 is nice. But I agree with you. I don't think you build You don't build your secondary around Joey. Not right now. Not the way things are. Dougie Fresh. If we see more of the Week 10 Rodgers, will they want him back next season? No. They see.
No, what do you think?
No.
To use Tomlin's word, how would
Dougie
you say?
Fresh, would you want Aaron Rodgers back if you saw more Week 10? But I'm going to be honest. Like, I really, and I could be proven wrong this weekend, but I truly watched that game and sat there the whole time and went, something's off with this guy. Something's not good. Like, I don't know what it is, but this is not Aaron Rodgers. This is not the Aaron Rodgers we've seen. Something's going on. I don't expect Aaron to have games like that, but no, if that's how Aaron plays the rest of the season, no. The answer is no.
Yeah, I don't think they'd want him back even if he performs better, but I don't think he's doing much to earn a spot. Yeah, it's hard. You know why it's not all on him, but that performance was bad, and you just hope it truly was just a bad night and nothing more.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll finish it off with this one. Steelers Freak. Can the Steelers staff find and develop a quarterback? Do you think the Steelers can actually develop a quarterback?
What's their track record indicate with this current staff?
I mean, they've only had one attempt, and that attempt was Kenny Pickett. You know what I mean?
Well,
and I think that
quarterbacks that they've drafted and developed into players.
They have,
Landry Jones, right?
Yeah, but this staff, this Steelers staff that really got an opportunity. Like, I think Mason developed into what Mason's a career backup. That's pretty good. I was not a Mason Rudolph's a starting quarterback when he was drafted. I know everybody was like, oh, they had a first-round grade on him. No chance they had a first-round grade on him. No chance in hell they had a first-round grade on him. He threw one pass in college, and it was goes. It was, how fast can you run? I'm going to throw it. You know what I mean? Landry Jones, maybe, but I don't. Was that Tomlin who drafted? Yeah, I guess it would have been. I think it's just been Kenny. I think Justin took significant steps forward in Pittsburgh last year before he got benched, and you're now seeing the regression in New York because he's in New York. Do I think Justin's a starting quarterback in the NFL? No. Do I think he played his best football in Pittsburgh? Potentially. I'm not trying to convince anybody to say yes. I don't know if the answer is yes. I don't think that the track record, I think people hold on to the track record like, oh, they haven't been able to do it. I'm like, dude, you're telling me the 5 other teams that have had Kenny Pickett have been able to do anything else? You know, like that. You think everybody else has been like, oh man, dude, this guy's a stud. Can't believe the Steelers let him go. No, they have him for like a week, and then they're just like, get him out of here, bro. See that guy?
Toss him a water. He drops it. He can't even get his hand around it.
Just
and they're like,
go grab his baby hand and pull him out of here. Like,
go grab his baby hand.
Like, I don't know, man. I'm not. Would I bet on it? No, I wouldn't. But I also think Tom Arth is a guy that I would have faith in, and I think that changes things. And he's only been here for a season, 2 seasons.
Yeah, I like Tom Arth. That's about the only player on or the only coach on the staff that I think I'd have faith in developing a QB properly. But they're not. It doesn't, instill a lot of confidence and optimism because can't think of anyone they've done it successfully with.
Yes, I sit in the same boat. So Sam, Andy Reid left Philly, Belichick left New York. They won more. I don't understand why we must keep Tomlin. I think this is the perfect argument. Is Belichick left and they found Tomlin. It happens. Like, this is what NFL teams do. Like, it's not like there's 32 head coaches and that's it. You're never going to find another one. It's all over. You're going to suck forever. Like, no. Do I think that's a reason to push to do it? Also, no. Because there's a, if this is a 50-50 shot that you're going to make it or not make it, I think it's more realistic that it's like a 70-30 shot that your next coaching hire is going to suck. Like, he's going to be terrible. And then the guy after that is going to be like a little bit better, but not great. And then you're going to find the guy, because that seems to be what happens. Some teams get really lucky, but the New England Patriots, did not. They had Gerard Mayo for half a season, and he was atrocious. It was atrocious. And I think that happens. I think you have to go through some trials and tribulations to figure it out. So I think that's the part. I think people would have a really shot in the face of like, oh snap, like this is what sucking is. 9-8 is not sucking. This is what sucking is. But I also think that it opens the door for the future, and I don't think you suck forever.
I think you have to, in order to be good, you have to go through some bad times. So I'm all on board with that. I think it's well said. You have to move on eventually. When's the right time? There never is, but eventually they're just going to have to sort of cut the cord and see what happens.
Eventually. And
eventually. I don't know when. There's no good time. Never
a good time. There's never a good. That's boom. Never a good time. Never a good time. All right, guys. With that said, we're heading out of here. I'm gonna go. Like I said, I'm gonna go take the night. I'm gonna meditate. I'm gonna read a book or something. A positive book. Anybody got good positive book recommendations? Let me know. I'm gonna go wake up tomorrow. I'm gonna come back and we're gonna be ready. We're gonna be all smiles. They call me Smiling Strack. That's what they're gonna call me tomorrow. It's gonna be a good one. We're heading out of here. Thank you guys so much for jumping on to another episode of All Steelers Talk. Make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/All Steelers Talk. Check us out anywhere you get your podcasts. And as always, find all of our work at si.com/NFL/Steelers. Hit that like and subscribe button before you head out of here. Can't thank you enough for all that. And with that said, enjoy another beautiful day in the Berg. Peace.